We have public communication, appearance of interested citizens. Due to COVID-19, residents are encouraged to attend the City Council meeting via web, conference, or submit comments by email. Consistent with public health guidelines for social distancing, limited seating is available in the council chambers. If an attendee does not have a facial covering, one will be provided for him or her. Comments may be made either at the council chamber podium. Please participate via web conference or email if you are ill or have been exposed to COVID-19. One thing that I don't see on here before we get going is report on closed session items.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There was no reportable action taken in closed session.
Okay, thank you. So, appearance of interested citizens. Did you want to make a comment before we get started?
If I could, Mr. Mayor.
Please.
Thank you. And this is just a reminder that should be done every so often. So by way of reminder, members of the public have a right to address the City Council at regular and special meetings. The right to express one's views in a public place is fundamental to a free society. This right is not absolute, however, and speech such as slander or which violates another person's right to privacy may expose the speaker to personal liability. The fact that there is a right to address the City Council should not be taken to conclude that the city agrees with or condones the statements being made. Finally, just as a reminder, this is a limited public forum, which means that the city can legally impose time and similar constraints on its speakers. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. We do have a written request from Chad Lizardo to speak. I do not see Mr. Lizardo in the room, however. Okay. I have a couple speaker cards. First up will be Heather Essman.
It's on. Good. Hi. So this is Heather Essman, 2020 Lincoln Road, and I am on agenda item number 3. I just wanted to make sure that the other, I had a discussion with the mayor and with the vice mayor and the other 3, just to associate the name with the face. I'd like to thank you for your consideration as well as the city's recommendation. And if you ever have any questions, myself or what my motives are or anything like that, you're welcome to contact me, or you can ask right now. I know it's not the forum, but.
Any questions for Ms. Heather? I will tell you that both the vice mayor and myself were very impressed. Thank you for your interest in the city. I know you're going to bring a lot of passion, and I mean that in a very good way, and a lot of energy as well. So we're glad, assuming we get past item 3 here, which I'm sure we will, we'll welcome you aboard.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Next up is Roy, I hope I'm going to get the last name right, Mellie? Mellie?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
I'm going to make this as brief, succinct as possible. Thank you. 12 years ago, I had my first solar system put on my house. 2 months ago, I had a secondary solar system put on my house. And upon having that put on my house, something was observed by the electricians who did it, Ledbetter. And my grievance with the inspector and the permit fees is, I don't mind paying for something that is done properly, like anybody else should do. But this was a potential danger to putting my house on fire. I have some photos that I printed out I would like to hand to you at the end of my speech so you can look at what I'm talking about. And also an observation of the wire that was put on and the wire that should have been put on. Leave both of them here. So in doing this, I found out there was a potential fire danger to my house, which is with all solar systems. And what I want to know is how well are our city inspectors educated on the building codes to let something like this happen? Not only to my house, but to anybody else's house, or having the fire department at my house. The connectors had melted, the wires were fraying, and if I hadn't had this new system put on, I don't know what could have potentially happened. So that's what I want to speak to you about. And in the future, are our inspectors going to be educated? Because, you know, solar is a popular thing, and this is a danger. We don't need any more fires. And if there would be a way of compensating me for either my permit fee or the extra money I had to spend, I don't know if that's a possibility, but I just would like a response from you, either an email, which I left on this paper, or my home address, which is on here. All my information is on there, and at least get a response from one of you. That's all.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think we can do one better than an email or a phone call. We can have a meeting with you at your convenience from our building department. They'll be happy to work with you, our city staff. Obviously, we're a little less than qualified to answer your questions in regards to, the installation and the inspection, but we sure will follow up with you.
Oh, one last thing. On
Sure.
either inspection, none of the inspectors got up on the roof to check the wiring. All they did was check the panel. I'm losing my words here. That regulates the electricity. Okay? That's
Okay.
all.
Well, I appreciate you raising your concern to us. And like I said, Mr. Moody's actually the person that will meet with you quickly outside there and get your information, and we'll be following up with him, sir. That would be perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Anybody else in the audience?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Thomas Burns, and I live at 1885 Greengate Street. So I want to address, I almost wore my my little yellow star, that shows I'm a Jew, like the Nazis used to make them do. Because that's how I feel about this trash that's going on in America today. Okay? And I'm going to speak about it here in the city councils. And I'm still curious as to what the city is going to allow regarding private business that's open to the public. And that is the key word right there. Because all the saber rattling that's going on is, well, we're going to segregate out these non-vaxxers. Yeah, we're going to segregate our society into different classes. And that is not the American way. So I'm going to keep pounding that. And unless you're living in a vacuum, you should have been able to see the handwriting on the wall. Now, for me, I already knew months ago that there would be another, let's say, biological warfare attack. And I believe that's what's going on. So my question to the city is, what will be allowed in this city as far as people entering public places and public businesses that are open to the public? So, and I want to commend Sutter High School and their school district out there, because they said, it's your choice. And you don't have to wear a mask if you don't want to. Praise God that somebody stood up for what was right. So thank you to Sutter. That's my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. Anybody else in the audience? How about online?
No public comment.
Thank you, Sierra.